Okay, so to be perfectly honest with you, I don't have that many pet peeves in my life, but I have to say there is one of a couple that truly annoys me. It just really, really does, because the whole thing of it is that it could totally be avoided, like totally be avoided. Jan, what are you talking about? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money and More Jan channel. This is kind of like an end more moment, although effectively it ultimately can reduce some money wasting, if not a good amount of money wasting. We as a society, we live in such a disposable society with so many things, paper products and a lot of things. But when it comes to food, that to me bothers me. There are so many people, and it's not like when you hear your mother or your father when you're a little kid saying, "Eat your veggies." There's so many starving people in the world. They were trying to teach us to be appreciative of what we have instead of, I don't know, just taking so many things, including the ability to eat a good, nutritious meal, for granted. Do you realize how many people out there in the world truly are hungry? And I'm not just talking about, like the average point of hunger, like when you, for example, you work, you had a little breakfast, go to work a few hours, then all of a sudden I don't know, your alarm clock in your stomach is reminding you, I really would love to have a middle of the day sandwich called lunch, okay, for example. And we're so used to it in general in life. Okay, we'll just grab a burger or slap a peanut butter and jelly sandwich together, and so be it. And we do it. And then we go back to work, and then we mindlessly continue, whatever we're doing, whether it's working at an office or cleaning up your home or apartment or whatever the case may be. And then before you know it, mid afternoon snack time, right? Then you want to eat something maybe about the 3 o'clock hour to what? Tide you over until when? Dinner. And we take this whole process for granted. And then after the dinner, typically many of us have what? Dessert. Some people think dessert should be every single day with every single meal. I've seen it. I've seen people have dessert after breakfast. I'm not even kidding you. But that's, no judgment, no judgment at all whatsoever. Everybody has their own eating style. Here's my pet peeve. Not that we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's not a pet peeve, okay? That's a kind of a medical thing. Like we need to eat, just like we very much need to drink water. Water first. We need more water than food, honestly, believe it or not. But we tend, in this throwaway, disposable society, we do have a tendency to mindlessly waste food. I'll give you a few real life examples. Okay, there was a time, maybe not so much at this moment, because a lot of the products are shrinking in the fast food restaurants. Ever noticed that lately? That the product sizes seem to be part of the shrinkflation process. And but back in the day, there was a time a few years back where, for example, parents would buy their kids that are really, really little, large, huge, huge portions of things. And then the kid would eat maybe one or two of it or whatever, and then there was a whole bunch left. And maybe the parent just didn't want to put it back with them and bring it home and thought it was inconvenient, maybe tossed it. That's an example of that type of a food waste. Or people buy these huge, huge guzzler drinks, and then they take two sips of it, and then before you know it, they're literally pouring their money down the drain. And it is wasteful. Again, part of my feeling of not liking food waste. But also, it's also what we do at home when we go grocery store shopping. Okay, for example, a lot of people waste a lot of their money on fresh produce. Yes, we're programmed to believe that fresh is the best, and you're not going to get any nutrition any other way. And it's not true, by the way, because frozen fruits and vegetables are just as good, if not better. I think they taste better. That's me on a personal note, but everybody's different. What I like about frozen produce is I have complete control. So let's say if I want to have some peas and carrots, I don't have to like use up fresh peas and carrots quickly, too fast, or whatever. Thankfully, fresh carrots do last a little bit of a while. But maybe that wasn't the greatest example. But I could take a handful of peas and carrots out of the frozen food bag and use as I want as I go along. That goes double for broccoli. That goes double for cauliflower or mixed vegetables, which, by the way, is a great thing to keep in your freezer at home. Mixed vegetables, because you could get a little bit of everything anytime you want. And the mixed frozen vegetables are very, very quite excellent. They work very well in recipes, as opposed to, well, society tells me I have to go to the fresh produce section of the supermarket. Don't get me wrong. When the fruit is in season and it's delicious and fresh and yummy, and you do eat it and it's not being wasted, I say kudos. Okay, but here are some things to pay attention to. It all goes back to like being in the moment and paying attention to stuff. So if you see the slightest sign, because strawberries tend to go bad quickly, more quickly lately than ever. Don't ask me why. I have no idea why, but I'm noticing, perhaps you would agree with me, that a lot of the fresh fruits and vegetables are tending to deteriorate or decay a lot faster than usual. I have no idea why, but I noticed that especially in the last couple of years. And I'm shocked about oranges. Oranges seem to go moldy very, very fast, much, much faster than in the past. So, keeping all of this in mind, be mindful. If you see the slightest, first of all, wrap it well and put it away the way it's supposed to be put away, whatever it may be. Look it up and do you a little bit of homework and find out what are the best ways to handle the fruits and vegetables that are fresh. Okay. Okay, so be it for that. But if you see any slight change, use it up. Throw it in a smoothie, put it in a soup or stew, or wrap it well, blanch it, and freeze it. I just can't see food going to waste. And like I said, one of the fastest things that seems to go to waste are fresh produce. Okay, now when it comes to, like, if you roast the chicken or if you roast the beef, some people are just like very careless, in my opinion, about the way they wrap up a chicken, cooked chicken or cooked beef or pork, whatever it is. They don't wrap it well when they put it in the fridge, saying, "Oh, I'll eat it again tomorrow night as leftovers or do overs," and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's say all of a sudden the next night you're like, I don't feel like that. I had it last night. I don't want that. They still leave it in the fridge instead of immediately packing that up, not letting it get soured, not cutting it up into smaller pieces for future use, getting creative. And then they ultimately forget about it. And then 6 days later, it's really not good for you to have meats like that. Even if you did cook it, it's just not good for you to have like a whole week later. I have a rule of thumb. It works for me. I try never to go past 3 days on a fresh meat item, that even if it was cooked. I will make sure it's thoroughly wrapped, keep it in the fridge. If I see evidence that I'm not going to eat it, like within the 3 day period, since it was already wrapped up nicely, all I have to do is transfer it to the freezer for future use. These things can be avoided. I just dislike the idea, especially with the price of food these days. I don't know about you. God bless you if you're in a position where you're like, oh well, so I made a mistake. A lot of us really, we really are on very tight food budgets, tight budgets. Period. Okay, so we have to be, careful, and it's just the right thing to do. Thank you so very much for being here. I truly appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for another episode on this channel, the Save Money More Gen channel. And always take good care of yourself and who else? Your amazing family. Super thanks are forever appreciated. Thank you.